critical incident that occurred in our community this morning.
See, here's what I wonder. I wonder who fired first.
And so he killed some pigs?
I don't hear any tears for the 7 children.
Yeah, it's your team, and we ain't on it. But if you're not on Team Blue, we don't care about you.
You hate to be in a world where you've got to question everything, but you know what? You got to question everything.
In the year 2002, I was no-knock raided by the Chief of Police, Michael Moore, of LAPD with an entire SWAT team twice in the same month. Since that date, I began studying the history of America and constitutional law. I am an autodidactic constitutional law scholar. Over the past couple years, what I've done is I've been able to devise a system, understanding that the police have created a very rigid set of policies, procedures, and protocols that they use to arrest you. I've also created a very rigid set of policies, procedures, and protocols for you to follow that gives you back the power when you're forced to interact with these jackboot thug pigs. It has become a tyrannical jackboot thug police state, prison state, death state. I will win the governorship and I will change the policies from the top down.
This is another video of 2 Burnsville, Minnesota cops who were gunned down. I love Brian. I love Here's the Deal, one of my favorite channels on all of YouTube.
All right, welcome back to the Here's the Deal channel.
Thanks,
I want to
Brian.
talk about this incident that happened in Burnsville, Minnesota, where 2 cops were, and 1
killed.
firefighter was as well. But I consider this a very serious situation because anytime a firearm is discharged in the direction of a human being,
Exactly.
it's serious.
Yes.
And I personally ask, why did that happen? What were the events that led up to the discharge of a weapon that ended in the eradication of 3 people and possibly the 4th?
I thank you all for being with us today as we share some important information on a critical incident that occurred in our community this morning. Words can't express how hard today hit.
Now notice his voice is quivering. It's going to be the same with the police chief and other people who come up to the lectern, and you know their voices are quivering, their eyes are wet. It's tragic to them. I'm not minimizing this at all for them. This is their experience. This is how they're venting their emotions. But you know, again, I got a lot of questions about all this.
And providing good government and good service to the community.
Good government.
That we take good care of our team.
Yeah, it's your team, and we ain't on it.
People who serve this community day in and day out.
Is that what they do when they kill us? Is there a press conference and everybody cries? Today, ChilleDeCastro died, and he was shot by a jackboot thug pig, and he was an activist and a freedom fighter. He bailed lots of people out of jail, paid people's rents, raised money for people, paid for people's lawyers. He did everything he could to be a good humanitarian man. I watch how they torture cuff you and throw you in a dungeon with a bullet hole. How they put you in torture cuffs with a bullet hole in your body, maybe several. They don't stick fingers in the holes. They don't put a tourniquet around your leg. They watch you bleed out. Your girlfriend, your mother, your sister, your brother could be screaming, "Let me help him, please." And the cops will say, "Stay away from the body." And then when they do come up to you, they flip you over and torture cuff you, even if you're dead.
This is really a terrible day for the city of Burnsville, all of the residents, the law enforcement, and fire communities that are mourning the loss of these public servants that occurred early today. At approximately 1:50 a.m. on February 18th, Burnsville police were called to a residence in the 12,600 block of 33rd Avenue South on a report of a domestic situation where a man was reported to be armed and barricaded with family members in the home. We later learned that there were 7 young children in the home, ranging from ages 2 to 15 at the time of this event occurred. When officers got to the scene, the individual was barricaded, and they spent quite a bit of time negotiating with this individual who was barricaded in the home, and additional officers responded at that time. At one point during that barricaded situation, the subject opened fire on the officers in the home, and officers Elmstrad.
See, here's what I wonder. I wonder who fired first. Because we know, especially in young cops, and we've seen this, there's a pattern in young cops. We know that there's testosterone going on. There's adrenaline flooding the system. In some cases, I'm not saying it all, and I'm not saying it's happening in this one, but steroids play a part. So it changes, it alters your mind, it alters your mood, it alters your ability to cope with what life is handing you at the time. So there's all these variables that I don't think that they're going to say, that they're going to touch on and speak about. If there was an act of aggression, an initiation of an act of aggression on the part of the police department and these officers that arrived on the scene, do you think that the police department and the investigations unit is going to be forthright with that information? Because we've seen time after time in the past where not only are they not forthright, they obscure what actually happened.
Right. They don't say Officer Gonzalez and Officer Rankin were on massive doses of TRT. They don't say that they were taking Winstrol and Deca and Primobolan. They don't list the anti-estrogen pills that they were taking. They don't test their blood to see what's in their blood. They just mourn the death of the pigs. How do we know if the pig wasn't on PCP? How do we know the pig wasn't on meth? Do we test their blood? No. We just mourn the death of public servants. Now they're public servants. Did you catch that?
First, thank you on behalf of the team here.
Listen, they're not hiding it. Our team, the subject. The subject? You mean the man who had a mental breakdown and then you surrounded him with pigs, gave him no way out, and so he killed some pigs? Is that what you mean?
Public safety support for everybody that's having just an incredibly difficult day. This is...
Bro, I'm sorry for stopping this so much. We have an incredible, difficult day every day watching what you jackboot thug pigs do to people. I watched this last night. I wanted to go live last night after I watched Brian's video. Listening to these pigs cry. But if you're not on Team Blue, we don't care about you. You'll get no tourniquet. We won't rush you to the hospital. You'll get torture cuffed as you bleed out on the ground. Where was the weeping for this man? Did you have a press conference? Did everybody cry? No. You pulled up his criminal record. You tested his blood. You searched his house and his car to paint him bad so that you would justify his murder by the pigs.
You can't believe everything that you see on TV. You especially can't believe something that comes from a profession where you've seen them time and time again in their training courses. Hey, they're trained to engage in deceptive practices and not be forthright with the truth.
This is St. Petersburg Police body camera footage from June 8th, 2023.
They belly chained this man so he couldn't protect himself or move his hands and arms. And during that ride, the officer deliberately stopped short.
You hate to be in a world where you've got to question everything, but you know what? You got to question everything.
Throwing Mr. Sanchez Mayan into the bulkhead where he fractured and broke his neck.
Sanchez Mayan's attorneys say the van driver didn't stop or offer assistance before he arrived at the jail several minutes later.
They literally pulled him out by his ankles, where his head could be seen bopping on the floor, then bopping on the door, then bopping on the bumper, then ultimately bopping on the pavement.
Sanchez Mayan is now paralyzed, lost both legs, and lives in a nursing home.
It's a really hard day for our public safety family.
There it is. There it is right there. It's a hard day for our public safety family. They're no longer law enforcers. If we go to violence, we failed. We need the numbers. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. 2/3 of you watching are not subscribed. Hit the subscribe button. We need the numbers for when I call for a sit-in. We go to that police department with 1,000 of us and we sit in and we're willing to go to jail. You want to arrest me for peacefully protesting? I'm willing to go with you.
Today, 3 members of our team
listen.
Ultimate sacrifice.
They paid the sacrifice. How many people had they abused? I want to see the body cam of these pigs every day they work without turning it off.
They come to work every day. They do it willingly.
No.
They know that they might have to give up their life.
No.
For their partners, for
No.
someone else.
No. Oh, for their partners. Listen. For their
They
partners.
know they have to give up their life sometime.
Oh, what a load of shit. Everything you do is for officer safety. It's not even the top. Being a logger is more dangerous. Being an insurance salesman is more dangerous. Being a delivery driver is more dangerous. They're not willing to give up their life. You take every single precaution to not have any chivalry, to not put yourself in danger, to take no risks for yourself. Ask the parents of the children of Uvalde.
their primary goal is no matter what, we got to get home safe at the end of the night so we can be with our family.
That's right, Brian. That's right. Let say it again, Brian.
Police department, and this is pretty much across the board. It's not relegated to just one police department. Their primary goal is no matter what, we got to get home safe at the end of the night so we can be with our family.
Right.
That's the primary objective.
That's right.
Every day we want them to go home to their families. Every day we pray that they go home to their families.
Right.
And today that's not happening.
Look at Brian and I. Look at Brian's face. This is so funny. Look at Brian's face.
We pray that they go home to their families. And today that's not happening.
Look at Brian. The same face I have.
What about our families? I mean, what about the danger we're placed in every day? Every time you get behind the wheel of your car and you go on the open road, you are taking a chance of getting pulled over by what a lot of people consider to be road pirates, where they give themselves the right and the justification to trample your unalienable rights under something called traffic law. What about our lives? What about our pocketbooks? What about our economic security and our prosperity? What about our property? But why is it about you? Why is it about you making it home to your family safe? There's always this. That's what the thin blue line is all about. It's a dividing line between us and them. And it's self-imposed. They put it on themselves.
We are all hurting. Our officers, our fire department, our families, all of our staff, our community.
Now she's speaking for the entire community. What if there are people in the community that are like, whoa, don't you dare sit there and speak for me. And they back their own, no matter what. It doesn't matter if they're wrong. They're going to back them against you. And how do we know this? Because at those traffic stops, when backup arrives, there's not one. You could have 10 cops on the scene, 20 cops on the scene, 376 cops on the scene like you had in Uvalde. And you do not have one occurrence of one person standing up and doing the right thing. And you know, when you have that enigma that shows up every once in a while on the radar screen,
it goes viral.
Grab that. The female cop grabbed the sergeant by his belt as he was abusing that guy in the back of the cop car. Okay, but how many lives did she abuse before and after that event? So yeah, I'm not saying that cops don't do good things, and we have said this.
You know, he's a lot more PC than I am, but he's saying it and trying to be couth and have some tact. The gloves are off for me.
Superintendent Evans shared a little bit about each of the officers. I will just share that Officer Paul.
I don't hear any tears for the 7 children. I don't see.
Right.
There's no mention.
Superintendent Evans shared a little bit about each of the officers.
Okay. But did you share the history of their body cameras? Did you share the history of what they did to other people? No, we can't get that because Republicans and Democrats have given the body camera to pigs. We don't get to see it. What happened? Why were these pigs murdered? We don't know. We have no idea. We have no idea why these pigs were murdered. No clue. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the new redesigned Fifth Amendment cop card. Now, the driver card is in blue and the non-driver card is in yellow. Now, they're easily color-coded, so you know driving is blue, non-driving is yellow. You have to have a pair of Fifth Amendment cop cards in your wallet at all times. If you carry your credit cards in your phone, it's the exact same size as your Visa, as your driver's license. And these cards, they're made out of the exact same material as a hotel key, your Visa card, your driver's license. They don't destroy. It won't melt in your wallet. You need to have a Fifth Amendment driver and non-driver cop card in your wallet. These are the best gift you'll ever give anybody. Thanks. My name is ChilleDeCastro, and I am Delete Laws.